Oh, thank you. Good morning. I'm Ron Cooper. I have not had the opportunity to meet each one of you personally, but I will before the morning is done. But I want to thank you for the opportunity to be with you and just share with you. The name of our company is Cooper Culture, with the emphasis on culture. The culture being a work environment. We have a culture right here. You have a culture at home. You have a culture at your work. And it's good, it's bad, it's indifferent. I'll tell you just very briefly some of the aspects of the culture that are very important. Do I feel like I belong? Do I feel like the people there, the supervisors, trust me? Do they value me? Those kind of things. I frequently ask businesses when I talk to them, do you have employees or do you have people in your organization? And sometimes I get a response that, wow, I've never asked me that before. But I want to tell you something. If you treat me as if I'm just an employee, then I'm just a card puncher, and maybe I'm here just to do some work, put in my time, and go home. But if you treat me as a person, you care who I am. And those are some big differences. But when Shape told me the topic of today was communication, one of the very first things that came to mind, I don't know if anybody has seen the movie Cool Hand Luke, but there's a part of that movie that says, I'm going to do the best I can to state, what we've got here is a failure to communicate. And what happened there in that scene, Paul Newman is whipped with a belt, and he rolls over, and then the person who did that went on further to say, some people will just never be able to get it. And so, okay, maybe sort of to that, but I'm going to tell you that each one of us has a personality. Each one of us is very unique, but we're predictably unique. Some of the things about communications, this is what I tell people frequently. Sometimes we communicate, we talk, but we're not necessarily communicating. Sometimes we communicate, but we're not necessarily connected. Let me just give you a very brief example. That Marty, my wife, business partner, and best girl of about 52 years. Okay. Dishwasher. Okay, for me, a dishwasher is intended to wash dirty dishes. Just throw them in there. Any way you get them in, what difference does it make? Marty pulls the door down, looks down and says, what are you doing just throwing dirty dishes in there? She pulls them all out, she washes them, and puts them back in. And I'm thinking, okay. So, we're talking. And so, at that moment, I've got 3 decisions to make. I can load the dishwasher with the manufacturer said to do it. I can load it the way I think it needs to be done, or I can do it the way she tells me to do it. And so, do I make the right choice? I would hope so, but let me just tell you, you can talk, but you're not necessarily communicating. How about it when we're yelling back and forth at each other? Or, I'm going to bet you, every one of you have been a part of a conversation, you've listened, saying, these two are talking past each other. This person thinks you're saying one topic, and this person says another topic. You're listening, you're saying, it's like passing ships in the night. You two are not communicating. I'm just saying, we can talk, but we're not necessarily communicating. And so, those are one of the things about our personalities. We can have a different perspective. I can tell you exactly what I'm trying to say, but your perspective is such that you're not hearing what it is I'm saying, or you have a different way of communicating. Okay, can we communicate but not necessarily connect? Yeah, and I have been a part, maybe you have as well. I spoke with this person for X number of minutes, and I really don't have any idea what that person said. And gosh, that just brought to mind. Martin and I had a videographer come out, and that person spent 5.5 to 6 hours with us, and that person left after that amount of time and said, after 6 hours being with you, I still have no idea what you do. Okay, I guess I'm not communicating very well. And so I'm just saying that there are different ways to communicate. Okay, some very quick facts and factors. Lack of communication in failed marriages. That is the #1 reason for breaking up. And that statistic came from the website yourtango.com. Poor communication results in about 1/3 of project failures. I am involved. I'm a project manager for a church build out, and just one area of this is not designed correctly. And I'm thinking, how could we have gotten to this point when clearly what you have in this depiction is not what we have in the build-out? And so in some portion of that, we failed to communicate. I'm not sure where it is. But employee retention, this is huge. If I don't communicate with you, I feel as if it just doesn't matter, then I can almost guarantee you the employee retention in that company is going to be low, because I give you the impression that I don't care. Okay, some assessments. Okay, so how can we help an organization develop a what we call a high-performing culture? One of the ways we do it is when Marty and I together will assess what the organization's climate is, if you will, or the current culture. The people that we talk with might know where the problems are, but they may not know, and so I will take an assessment and try to take it further. But the other way we can do that is through a leadership game, and we have a copy of this up front. It's nearly in the middle of the table. That leadership game, and dependent on the people in the organization, I may call it a game if their personality is such that they can take the word game as a fun environment, an interactive environment. I'll use the word game. If the person's personality is such that they may think the word game is trivial, I'll use the word assessment tool. And but that's one way that we can help. Marty and I are DISC personality certified, and with that, we are able to assess. We don't analyze, we assess people's personality. Every one of us in here is unique, but we're very predictably unique. After speaking with you for a little while, I can pretty well have an idea what your personality is. You're outgoing, you're introverted, you're people-oriented, or you're task-oriented. And if I choose to adapt to you, then we're going to enhance the probability that we are going to get along better. We're going to enhance the probability, increase the probability that we will connect. But if I have the attitude that, hey, I'm talking, you better listen, and I make no attempt to adapt to you, this may be just an opportunity for me to tell you in a very condescending way, and we're talking, but we're not communicating. Some other things that Marty and I are working. There's a college and career impact report. We are working with high school students who are making a college or career decision. This report is huge in assessing a person's personality, their learning style, their communication style, and with these aspects of us, so that we know us better, we're able to help those students make a very informed choice. And we're very particularly last night, as recently as last night, we were with an 11th grade student. This student he's a very, very talented athlete, but his grades are not where they want to be, where they can be, where they need to be. His learning style is kinesthetic, but I'm learning that. He needs to interact with the learning. When that's done, that person learns. But if I choose to just talk to him from the platform, he's not going to learn as well as if I'm interacting with him. That's simply a matter of learning people, just learning who they are. But that's part of the college and career impact report. There's a communication report. Again, it's DISC assessment as the basis of it, but in that communications impact report, that will give the people, the leaders in that organization, an idea of where their communication style is and where we can improve to help the organization communicate better. Growth impact report. That's more of a personal type report. That where can I grow best and where are my strengths? That's huge. That if you care enough about me, I care enough about you to know where your strengths are, you're going to be able to function better in my organization, because when I know your strengths, I'm going to turn to you and say that this project, you have a strength with this. And so when I recognize that about you, I'll turn to you and ask you if you can contribute to this, that part of it, and we function as a good team. And that's all a part of what it is to put together a culture. And culture is huge. Many of you, I'm sure, have been in a culture that all I'm doing is putting in time. I just want a paycheck. That's the most important thing. But the other part of it is, if I'm in a culture where I feel that I can make a contribution, you value me, I know that I belong. I know what the company objectives are. I'm going to do everything I can to help advance. I, as a leader, will do everything I can to help advance you to whatever level you want to be. And in turn, while I don't demand this, there's a pretty good probability you're going to help me advance the company to reach my strategic objectives. Those are all the ways that we connect, and that's how we develop a high-performing culture. And these are things that we have learned throughout our work experience. And Marty and I are at a point where we have learned from life and work experience, pass it forward. So I appreciate the opportunity to share with you. If there's anything that we can do to help your organization advance to meet the goals of a high-performing organization, we would look forward to working with you. But thank you all, and I look forward to interacting with each one of you here.